Welcome. This is Module 2, Topic 1, Lesson 2, Activity 2.1. In this activity, we'll be introducing the percent equation. To get us started, go ahead and read the first two paragraphs. Pause here. Now, if you're at a restaurant, you're not about to pull out a piece of pencil and paper. Did I say a piece of pencil? Weird. Anyways, a piece of paper and a pencil to set up and solve a proportion. That's why we're introducing the percent equation. All right, let's look at number 1. Number 1 says write a proportion that could be used to determine the amount of a tip based on the restaurant total. Now, there are no specific values, but use this 15%. Set up a proportion to show how would you find 15% of a whole bill. Pause here. All right, let's check our proportions. Obviously, 15 would go over 100 because all percentages are out of 100. And then the tip would represent that 15% out of the entire bill. So 15% of the whole bill is going to be directly proportional to what that tip cost is going to be, or the tip amount, excuse me. Alrighty, moving on. Now to learn about this percent equation. Go ahead and read this paragraph here, and then we will talk about the worked example. Pause here. So as you can see, the percent equation is written as the percent times the whole is equal to the part. One very important thing to note is that the percent should always read as a fraction or a decimal or when you're plugging in your number into the equation. And then one way that this percent equation can be read is the tip, or 15% of the total bill, 15% of the total bill, because of means to multiply from taking a portion of something. So 15% of the total bill will equal the amount to tip. Moving on to question number 2. It says analyze the worked example. 2A. Describe how the percent equation in the form percent times whole is equal to part is equivalent to a proportion in the form percent is equal to part over whole. So looking back at the worked example, that actually shows right here, percent is equal to part divided by whole. Okay. So explain, how is that equation the same as percent times whole equals part? And then 2B reads, explain how the variable is isolated. Then describe how the tip amount is calculated using the percent equation. Either on your own or with a partner, go ahead and pause the video so that you can answer 2A and 2B. Pause here. All right, let's take a look at what I answered. So for 2A, you could have wrote something along the lines of, when solving for percent, divide both sides of the equation by the whole. 2B, explain how the variable is isolated, then describe how the tip amount is calculated using the percent equation. The variable is already isolated. They simply plugged in 0.15, which was 15%, of 45, which was the whole, in the equation, and then solved for the tip, which was the part. And lastly, question number 3. It says use proportions and percent equations to calculate tips on the given restaurant bills. For each, isolate the variable first. Then determine the tip amount. Finally, write your answer in a complete sentence. So for this problem, you're going to be using what you know about proportions and also what you just learned about the percent equation. Set them up and then solve. So on your own, you're calculating 20% of $63.89 and 15% of $24.40. Use your notes to help you. At this time, go ahead either on your own or with a partner, solve using a proportion and the percent equation to find your tip amount. Pause here. So let's check our answers. For the first one, when you solve the proportion and also the percent equation, you would find that for a $63.89 bill, 20% would be $12.86. For number two, setting up your proportion and solving your equation, you should have gotten for a $24.40 bill, a 15% tip would be $3.66. And that completes this activity. I'll see you in the next video.